Good morning, students. Today we'll cover the sampling methods. Obviously, we are all gone through the different steps while doing the sampling technique. We need to understand while doing a sampling, we need to have one specific sampling technique. Now, we need to understand what are the different techniques of sampling. There are basically two types of probability samplings. One is probability and another is non-probability sampling. When we go through the different types of sampling, these are random or simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, cluster sampling, systematic sampling, the proportionate random sampling, and non-proportionate stratified random sampling. And another type of sampling technique is non-probability sampling, that is quota sampling, purposive, accidental, incidental, multi-stage, snowball. These are the different types of non-probability sampling. Now, the first we need to understand what is probability. When we say we are doing a probability sampling, that means we are creating an equal chance for each and every element of that population, which has to be included in that sample. Now, how this equal chance has to be created in the population? What we do, we basically try to understand each and every respondent which are existing in that population, how that respondent will go through in that sample, and how we give equal chance to that. That means we should have some probability chance or some calculated probability of that each and every individual existing in that population. This probability can be accurately determined because we have a mathematical calculation for each and every respondent. When we say if the sample size, or sorry, if a population size is capital N, that means there should be a Monte Carlo method, that is simulation, this Monte Carlo method that tells us if we are having a population size of capital N, there will be a probability of 1 upon n. Getting? So we can calculate the probability of each and every respondent is 1 upon n. With this probability, we can choose the respondents for our sample. Now, probability sampling are having different types. First time we are going through the simple random sampling. Now we need to understand what is the simple random sampling. This is by name only a simple random sampling, but it is not so simple. We are given the sampling frame gives the each and every respondent the equal chance to be selected. There is a method chance selection. There are many lottery methods, Pitts methods, Kendall and Badminton myth, and these are the different authors and different statisticians given their different methods to calculate or to find that respondent to be selected in that sample. Simple random sampling with replacement, Monte Carlo method says there should be a 1 upon n probability selection. This is a equal probability selection, and if it's without replacement, that means we are not replacing that element. That means the first unit will be selected by 1 by n, and the second unit will be selected by 1 upon n minus 1. Getting? So probability of the selection of nth element will be 1 upon n minus 1. This is Monte Carlo simulation method. This is a mathematical model. This is a mathematical thing which we can do to select the element in that sample. But if we are having the different method, like if we are doing it manually, what we'll do, we'll prepare a population chart, or we should say the sampling frame. It's a source list of the population. We'll prepare a total list of that population, and then we'll do this activity what we are doing with in the simple random with replacement and without replacement. Getting? So this is a simple random sampling. If we want to have a sample size of 500 out of 5 lakh element of the 5 lakh population size, then what we'll do, 1 upon 5 lakh will be the probability with replacement, and what will be the without replacement, that in varying probability selection of each element, that will be 1 upon n minus 1, or I should say 1 upon n minus 1. N should be the sample size. Small n is the sample size and capital N is the population size of that element. Getting? So this is the thing we do. This is the way we do a simple random sampling. Now another type of sampling technique is systematic sampling. Systematic sampling involves a random start. Getting a random start, that means the first element will choose using the SRS, that is simple random sampling, and then rest of the elements will be chosen using some systematic way. Means we'll create an equation, we create an value in that particular, like here we have taken a population size upon sample size is a kth element. Getting, so we use these type of abbreviation, these type of algorithms to choose another element in that population. Getting, first will be chosen, yes I have told, first will be chosen using SRS, that is simple random sampling, and from onwards there will be some systematic way, some systematic equation we will choose to select the next element. Getting, so this is the systematic element or systematic way to select the respondent or the element for the sample. So this is the systematic sampling. Another is stratified sampling or mixed sampling. When we say stratified sampling, that means by the name itself, it says that we need to make an separate stratas. Now what are these separate stratas? Stratas are basically homogeneous groups, like they are, if we are having a sample size or population size of 5 lakh, that means we can divide the whole population into two equal types, like men and women, like on the basis of gender we can bifurcate, or on the basis of age groups, on the basis of educational background. These are the different strata name we can give to those homogeneous groups. First, what we'll do, we'll make homogeneous groups in that total population, and then in each and every strata, what we'll do, we start selection of the respondents for the sample. Now, if we need the population size of 500, getting the sample size of 500 from that 5 lakh population, what we'll do, we'll divide the whole population in men and women. It may be vary the numbers of men and women. It totally depends upon what is the men and women number there. So there are two types of stratified sampling. One is proportionate stratified sampling, another is non-proportionate. Now, if equal numbers are divided in the whole group, like if I have divided the whole population into two based on the gender, men and women, and if we need the sample size of 500, that means if we take 250 men and 250 women, that means we are taking proportionate size of the sample of men and women. So what we'll do, out of that men's population, we'll select 250 men, and out of that women's population, we'll select 250 women. Getting, this is called proportionate or equal number of units for each strata. Getting, and if this number is not equal, like if we want, like if we have seen that population ratio of men and women is 60 and 40, 60-40%, getting, then what we'll do, we'll calculate the same proportion, we'll use the same proportion for sample as well. Getting, so this is called disproportionate. So not an equal number of unity in each stratum of the size of the strata. Getting, so this is called disproportionate. So there are different two types of stratified sampling: proportionate sampling and disproportionate sampling. Another is cluster sampling. Now this is basically a multi-stage sampling, and basically we do it on the basis of geographical area. Like if we are doing some study in our whole country, and what we are doing, we are dividing the whole population of this country in first stage. What we are doing, first stage we are dividing that in the states. Then the states are divided into different districts. Districts are divided into blocks. Blocks are divided into some specific location. Getting, or wards, what we do in electoral votes. Getting, so, and from that cluster, small cluster, what we'll do, we use SRS, means simple random sampling, to select the cluster from that. Now here again, that point the point comes key, we are doing a proportionate sampling or a disproportionate sampling. From each and every cluster, we need to understand how much proportion we are going to select for the sample size. If we have 10 clusters like this we are existing, so what we'll do, we will basically try to adjust the numbers in those clusters so that we can have a proportionate number, or it may be a disproportionate number in that particular sample, and from those all clusters we'll collect the whole sample size. Getting? So this is called cluster sampling. Now another is sequential sampling, that is single. There are different types of sampling which is sequential, that is single sampling, double sampling, multiple sampling. What we are doing means, if we are doing only using only one strata, that is single sampling. If we are using stratum under that stratum, that means we are doing a double sampling. And if we are doing this in multiple phases, this is called multiple sampling. Now another type of sampling is non-probability. When we were doing the probability sampling, that means we were saying we should have to do a random selection of the each and every element in the sample. Now if that chance, or we are selection, we are not doing the random selection of that particular element in that sample, that is non-probability sampling. Getting? Means each and every element of the population is not having equal chance, or there are some biases which are involved with that particular researcher. That means we are doing a non-probability sampling. Now we need to understand what the different types of non-probability sampling. So first we need to understand, this is convenience sampling. This is a basic sampling. Convenience sampling sometimes is a grab or opportunity sampling. We also say this. It's a convenience sampling that is totally based upon the convenience of the researcher. Like these days you are doing your research projects, and in those research projects you're not having the facility to move on that probability sampling. So what you will do, the respondent will be selected by your own convenience and your own bias. Getting? This is called your convenience, that is the researcher's convenience. They go in the field, and based on the convenience of the researcher, they grab or take the opportunity to select the sample. This is called convenience sampling. Getting? The rest of the samplings are purposive sampling, purposive and judgmental sampling. In purposive sampling method, we have some specific purpose in our mind. Like if we are doing some research on gender discrimination, that means we are specifically focused on men and women. That means what we'll do, we will purposely collect the sample in men and women portion. Getting? This is called purposive sampling. And once we have divided the whole sample into two parts, what we'll do, we use the convenience sampling to target our prospectives respondents in the sample. This is called purposive sampling. Purposive sampling can be useful for situations we need to reach the target sample quickly, and where sampling for the proportionately it's not primary concern. Obviously, if we are doing a gender discrimination type of researches, we try to primarily focus on the women section of the society and try to tap those women we are conveniently achievable for us, or we can reach them very affordably. Getting? This is it may be used for pilot study. There is specific questions and questionnaire may be tested. I think this is called purposive and judgmental sampling. Another is quota sampling. Now if we fix the specific quota, a specific number to some specific subgroup. Now what we do in stratified sampling, in probability sampling, we make specific strata. Getting? The homogeneous groups. Now here what we do, we make specific subgroups in that particular sample and provide a specific quota to that number. Like if we are dividing the whole population into two categories, men and women, based on the gender, that means we need to have 60%. I have already said that if there is a chance that there is a ratio of male and female is 60 to 60/40, that means what we'll do, we will collect 300 males and 200 females out of that whole population, when we have a target in our mind that we have 500 sample size. Getting? This is called proportional quota sampling. And non-proportional quota sampling means we can have any number of male and female. Getting? This is called non-proportional quota sampling. Now another and the last, which is very important, that is snowball sampling. It is basically taken at that time when we are having very less number of respondents existing, and we cannot tap those specific respondent in the market. Getting? So what we'll do, we try to get a specific person of the or the proposed respondent which can be the part of our sample, and then we take the different contacts of that person we meet those contacts, then we take contacts of those contacts. So with this process, what we do, we make the larger sample size. Like it is said in the name, snowball sampling. How we make the snowball? What we do, we take a small piece of ice, then we mix the more ice in that to make that ball, that ice ball bigger. So what we do, we make and make again and again, do this activity so that we can make a larger snowball. Getting same thing we do in this snowball sampling to meet the research, to meet the sample size. What we do, we use contacts of the contacts to make a larger sample size. So this is basically activity we done. So this is the different types of sampling. One is another, this is accidental sampling. The researcher can select any sample in any place or can collect the data from the pedestrian also. It's an accidental sampling. Normally it's accidental sampling used in exploratory study where we don't have any kind of hypotheses. We just want to explore some area, we want to have some fundamental researches, but it has errors, it has sample errors, it has less accuracy. So we don't have to go for accidental sampling in normal researches. But if we are doing the descriptive researches, we go for non-probability or probability sampling. That is different types of sampling. I've already told you. Accidental sampling is basically a type of non-probability sampling, but it is not very general. It generally do not used by different researchers in different researches. Getting? So there is another aspect where we can use these probability sampling and non-probability sampling in combination. It totally depends upon your research design, which kind of research design you are working on, which type of sampling technique you are working. It totally depends upon your research. You can use these researches in combination as well. Getting it? Particular product in one street of a particular group of people you are working, that means you are different chances of having combination of this probability and non-probability sampling in one design. Getting? The utility for particular product in town, these are certain examples of combination. Now some sampling error, we have already told different types of total error. I have already told you that there are two types of errors, sampling errors and non-sampling errors. Non-sampling error, I think I have already gone through. Sampling errors are basically the biased errors and unbiased error. That means while taking up the sampling technique, while using the biasness, while taking up the respondents in the sample, while making the representative sample of that particular population, when we do errors in that, that means the sampling errors occurs at that time. Getting? So we need to understand what is the specific size of the sample, what kind of sampling technique we have. Accordingly, we need to do our actions to have the sampling error. Obviously, in each and every research, there are always chances of sampling errors. We cannot reduce this, we cannot remove this sampling error from a research, but we can have a specific chance to reduce the sampling errors. So try to take a smaller sampling errors so that whole research or the total error can be reduced from the whole research. So thank you. This was the sampling, different types of sampling techniques we have discussed today. If you have any queries, you can ask me in the chat box. Thank you, class.